Hi guys, welcome to Reading Bliss. This is going to be short but sweet, as I've been tagged, or rather inspired by Kristina of italktosnakes, the YouTube channel, to do the social media meme. Since I'd love to become more of a booktuber, this seemed like a perfect introduction to that, and so I'd give it a shot. Basically, the idea is to take different books and link them to the main aspect of a social media. So, first up, Twitter. Your favourite shortest book. For me, that would have to be Singularity by William Sleater. I first read this as a young teen and have been rereading it on a regular basis ever since. Most recently, this past February, actually. At 170 pages, it's a very fast read. And actually once, before I owned it for myself, went into the library, sat down and read it in one sitting and then left again, feeling kind of discombobulated and not really understanding why time had passed. If you've read the book, you'll understand why. But it's brilliant, I highly recommend it. Next up, Facebook. This is a book that you felt pressured into reading. This was a bit difficult because there are very, very few books that I actually feel pressured into reading, but I think the one that comes closest would have to be The Lord of the Rings. This is a book that you apparently have to love and think a literary masterpiece, and I just don't. Sorry. Sorry, Tolkien. The Hobbit is so much better. Still, I've read it. Just the one time, but I've read it. Next up, MySpace. Books that you read before they became cool. I've got 2 books for this category. Harry Potter. I know this is the second book, but I couldn't find the first one on my shelves. That's the hazard of moving. I read the first 3 books actually, all the way back when the first 2 books, all the way back when the second book had just been published. So, long time before the hype. And the second one is Twilight. I know that it's a bit of a stretch to say that it's cool to like Twilight these days, so I think I'd rather say it's the book I read before it became a joke to like it. I read this again back when it was first published, before anybody had heard about it, before any of the fangirls ruined it for the rest of us. I still like it. I just reread the entire series. Still love it. So sue me. I know it's not good literature in any way, but it's entertaining, and sometimes that's really all I want. Next up is MySpace, a book that you don't remember whether you liked or not. I don't actually own this book, but I would have to say The Book Thief by Margaret Suzak. Everybody was raving about it, so I felt I had to read it. And as I was reading it, I quite liked it. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, but thinking back, I don't remember if I liked it or if I just felt like I had to like it. It certainly didn't leave a lasting impression of me. I remember hardly anything of it any longer. So, maybe due for a reread, or I may just think that, it's one of those books that just aren't for me. Instagram, a book that you thought so pretty that you just had to post a photo of it on Instagram. I haven't done that because I actually didn't own this, I actually didn't have an Instagram account when I bought this book, but I did take a picture and put it up on my blog, and I think that counts too. This is a Danish book called Libri di Luca. That's not Danish. It's by Mikkel Birkegaard, and it has actually been translated to English as Library of Books, something like that. Sorry, I'll write that down in the show notes. I don't remember. It's a brilliant book. I first read it from the library, and it's about this man who can influence how people think by reading aloud to them. I love books about books, and this is one of the best I've read. So when I found it in this absolutely gorgeous hardcover edition, I had to get it. He's recently released another book with the same style. They're not in a series or anything, but it's the same layout. And of course I had to buy that as well. YouTube. A book that you'd want to be turned into movie. The book that you most want to be turned into a movie, I think it is. Well, like Kristina, my original thought was Ender's Game. They've done that. Don't need to expand on that. She said it perfectly. Then my next choice was Outlander. They've done that too. Granted, I've only seen the pilot so far because the rest of it hasn't actually made it to Denmark. But I quite liked that. It's very, very close to the book. Got high hopes. But we'll see what will happen. It's early days yet. So my current choice would have to be a chicklet, How to Teach Filthy Rich Girls by Zoe Dean. This is so much better than her A-list series. I originally received it as an advanced reader's copy when it was first, right before it was first published, and I loved it. A filmatisation of this, that's a Danish word, sorry, a movie adaptation of this, could end up being as good as Clueless was. And I loved Clueless, so definitely. And finally, Goodreads, a book that you'd recommend to anybody. Well, if you've been following me at all, you will know that my recent passion, or obsession if you will, is the Modern Witch series by Deborah Geary. This is the best comfort reading ever. It is so good that it's the first book I can remember having read 3 times in 1 year. Yeah, it is that good. You laugh, you cry, but it's just so good. Critics have been saying that there's not much plot in it, and I think that holds more true for the later books. There's quite a bit of plot in this one, but its biggest strength is how Deborah Geary describes family, describes friendships, describes relationships. If you need a comfort book, go for this one. It's perfect. Right, that's it for this time. Thanks for following me along. Bye!